Hello, big bad tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Lobotomy Corporation with me, BlueAnkylo. Don't forget the live chat. We've brought in another victim slash employee from the chat. Some know him as Robert, some remember him as Schminchkin, our Might and Magic dragon from long ago. Always room for more employees though, so those of you still excited, there's room for more. One day. We've moved around some equipment. Again, as usual, we have new armor, thanks to our little helper robot. So we have 3 new sets of HE level armor, which is pretty good against red damage, which is what I'm assuming the wolf will do. And no special abilities, but I gave it to the security team that has a big bad wolf. And just move stuff around after that. Nothing to worry about. We also have his cool weapon, which doesn't say what the other robot's weapon does. But I bet you they're fairly similar. We'll find out. All that said and done. Quest for the day. Don't panic. And don't immediately die before you get dispatched. I don't know. That's not much to worry about. Quest complete. End day. Alright. Oh, look, he's so cute. You got nothing to worry about. I'm gonna go with instinct if I'm following my pattern of animals go instinctual. It's probably wrong. Also, it's a WA tier, our first one, so you'll see some new mechanic here that we haven't shown off yet. Rides wants to study it, but Rides does not have the correct armor. He is not resistant to red damage, so for now, we're gonna send people in. I don't want to go in there. Grotham has a lot of HP. Grotham seems like a safe bet for now. So as usual, the first thing for our day is going to be trying to figure out the abnormality, and then we'll worry about training later. Grotham, by any chance, is there a chubby baby pig in this place? Oh, it's nothing. He was my friend. I just wanted to see how he's doing now. We're off to a great start, I gotta say. He is doing red damage. He vividly remembers the moment when his belly is ripped open and guts spilled out. That's great. According to employees who have been into his stomach, it is dark, empty, and lonely. Who has been in his stomach? Open the door, sweetheart. I have brought gifts from the forest. Well, we're not dying immediately, so that's something. We got a neutral. Alright. Not great, not bad, just neutral. We didn't take too much damage, so that's nice. And there's this new thing here. This is called Clip-Off Overload. When you're dealing with a WA tier or higher, every time you work on them, they get more difficult to work on until you reset the clip-off counter, and then it goes back to 0. So it's not permanent, it's just until the cycle is over. It just prevents the farming a little bit. That doesn't mean we're not going to go in with minus 4%. I'm going to check out attachment. Common. We're going to try attachment. I can do it. BlueAnkylo to the rescue. I should have gone for... I probably should have just gone for tips. Okay, hold on. Pause for a second. Tips are always the first thing you should go for. I don't know why I even clicked that. When the employee... something, 0... who has worked on it, completed the work, the clip-off counter is decreased. Then the employee was eaten by... So this is an employee name. When the employee person, null pointer exception, who has worked on not this one, 57 is somebody else. Then the employee was eaten by 58. This one. Is there a chubby baby pig? It likes meat. He used to always be hungry. Now he wants to always be full. Actually, this is working pretty well. I could blow this room away with one breath. So maybe it's not the wolf from Little Red Riding Hood. It's the wolf from the Three Little Pigs, right? Oh, someone will get chomped. I have no doubt. Okay, I think attachment is off to a good start. Let's try to learn what's going to kill us. Alright, when the work result was bad, counter decreased and eaten. When the employee finished instinct work, while it was fed, this one was fed, it vomits all the employees who had been eaten. So if it eats somebody and then you instinct it, they... Now, do they live through that? Or do they just make a mess? This isn't totally clear on whether or not they survive the regurgitation. The clip-off counter decreases when a target that bleeds from the attack of something else enters the hallway of this one. So I think 57 will be Little Red Riding Hood or something like that. And it's because the two have a grudge. So if that's true, if you work on Little Red, assumedly, but something else, you immediately get eaten by the wolf, if you come to the wolf. Or, if Little Red has injured you, and you go into the wolf's hallway, its counter goes down, so it tries to escape or something. So you can't even enter this hallway if Little Red has damaged you. That's great. I'm going to do one more. It still says hi. And then, the way I generally do WAS is we generally go up to 8 or so %, and then we finish the cycle because it's just not safe to go too much lower than that. I'll give you something good if you let me out. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to get Little Red just to see the combo, but it might not be a great idea. Yeah, the negative penalty's starting to hurt us, I think. Still not a terrible result, but you gotta be careful. I actually don't know what constitutes a bad. A bad could have been 11 for all I know, you know, like we don't know yet. Alright, let's see all the tips. When 57 enters the hallway of 58, counter immediately goes to 0. So if that's Little Red, as soon as she even enters his hallway, he's done. Some employees reported that they heard a voice in the stomach of 58. We should rescue them by suppressing the escape. It may be possible to contract 57. So if it eats somebody and escapes, you can contract the other one, suppress it, and theoretically use instinct to get them back out. I get the feeling it's going to have one-shot eat animations once it's out. It just immediately kills people. Except they're not totally killed if you can manage to get it back in there. At least that's what I'm starting to think. I think Jarrell can... Yeah, Jarrell, even with 2 justice, should be able to do repression just fine here. And that'll start training that stat up. Because that's the goal now. Start training up some more stats. So everybody in the training team has got a level 5 justice. Now that doesn't mean we couldn't keep training it. We're only at 90. We could train it all the way up to 100. But for now, that's not the priority. Let's get some other people a little bit higher. This is nothing, Rides. It gets way more complicated than this. This machine does red damage, so all I gotta remember is not weak to red. So if I want to train up Thor or Robert, we probably should give them different armor for justice training. So Pixel will work on it for now. The Queen does white damage. And we can train Insight or Attachment, mostly Insight. Bella and Rides are level 5 already, so let's get Jelka to level 5 Insight, and then we'll work on somebody else. For now, we're just trying to get to level 5s, mostly. So that's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll do one more. Let's welcome Robert to the team. Welcome to your first day on the job, Robert. We got some spiders for you. You got to talk to Spider Bud, the queen, the spider. She likes to be referred to as a she. She's gonna give you your job work orders for the day, to let you know where to go next. All right, you've met with HR Spider. You did survive, so congratulations. And with that, you guys are generous giving the new employees tips. It's not a requirement anymore. You want... Yeah, most people have level 2 justice. Let's send Robert to go try to work his way to level 2 justice here. His movement speed is way too slow. So he can go have a chat with Beauty and the Beast. Alright, double breakdown. Spiders are mad. I would send Robert again, but he's busy. So we'll send one of the newbies. Well, they're not even really newbies anymore, but we'll send one of them. And then we'll just turn the stupid room out. Stupid room can get shut off. Punishing Birds escaped? Bella, you did not train the replacements well enough. Daubrey's gonna have to go deal with the Punishing Bird, seeing as Fella's failed. Your first mission is to get good. That's the spirit. I hope you've learned your Dark Souls iframe evade rolls, because you're gonna need them. Alright. Everything's good. Survived our first meltdown. Let's keep working on the wolf, because that's the priority right now. Attachment hasn't failed me yet. We do have work speed up at least. That's nice. And I'm going to keep doing it myself for a little while. Getting temperance to 5 is high priority anyway, so... I'm only going to tell this to you. If you ever build a house, make a sturdy brick house. You can't huff and puff those and blow those down. Big and might be bad wolf is suffering from chronic indigestion. Big and might be bad wolf. Hey look, I'm getting successes. It's because I'm an expert. Level 5 employee. Technically, I am a vicious architect, in case you're wondering. Alright, 19 points. Could I not have gotten one more point so I could unlock? Of course not. Alright, let's see what Instinct does. Instinct's also acceptable. Repression is very bad. Alright, I'll do one more attachment myself. That should unlock all the odds for success. And then I'll feel a bit safer about sending other people in there. I mean, traditionally you send in your best employees. Super traditionally, you buff your stats up with the Happy Machine before you take on a new tier of WoW. But I didn't do that because I'm a man. Still not getting goods, but we are definitely getting neutrals consistently. Alright, we got 22 points. We could get for one of those, but fine. So Insight, bad. Repression, really bad. Instinct, Attachment, decent. And we're a little bit better success rates now. Although we're up to -8 again. Let's see what the game says. It looks like Attachment is almost assuredly slightly higher odds than Fortitude, because a Temperance 4 is giving us a high, whereas an Instinct 5 is still only giving us common. So I think it's safe to say that Attachment's the way to go here, which is nice. Our first WA will help us train Attachment if we can survive it, which is a nice way to buff up our stats. I like that. So we're gonna send... Wait a second, what was that, Rides? I hear you saying something in chat. I'm gonna send Rides to work with the wolf. It's only minus 8%. You're not particularly resistant to red. Rides with Queens, please open the door. He likes meat, though. Chronic indigestion. You're doing pretty well. You're only a third, maybe halfway dead. No, you did fine. Look, you didn't get eaten. Someone's gonna get eaten by the wolf. The big and might be bad wolf. Looks like a 9 is bad. We've got a fair range there. Don't make me report you to the HR spiders. That's right. Pella is so good at his job, he's gonna show you how it's done. At minus 12. Just because he can. He's got the same armor as Rides, so it's fair. And a 4% penalty, so you get all the bragging rights if you don't get eaten at minus 12%. Actually, you got past 9 or 10, so you should be okay. 13, it's only one less. The 4% difference makes up for that, so you guys are pretty much tied. But now we've got the full info. Look at that. So we're not going to work him anymore till the next cycle. And, let's see, what do we learn? The wolf is pretty tough. It's not weak to anything. Red would be the best damage type. It definitely can escape. It has not dropped its counter yet, and I have a feeling that as long as we don't have the other abnormality, which I believe is Red Riding Hood, it doesn't look like it's going to escape very easily. You'd have to work on the other one first, or get a bad. Is there any other way to drop the clip off? You have to work on 57. 57 has to walk in the hallway. Yeah, so if the only way the counter goes down is bads or things relating to 57, this shouldn't be that hard to handle, actually. Not the worst... definitely not the worst WA to start with. Although it could get bad, like it could get more complicated, obviously. But not bad to start. We got some high damage, fast, short range claws. And some very resistant Blue Scar armor. So WA tier is even better than He. And this is probably, I'm just going to say, short of Aleph tier gear, this is the best red resistance you're going to get that's not Aleph. So this might be one of the best anti-red damage armors for our WA tier, basically. You only get one, and that generally means it's one of the better ones, right? You can kind of look at it like the best. Like, if you get 3, it's probably a weaker armor because you get lots of them. If you only get 1, it's probably because it's got better stats. The only weakness is Pale, which is very rare. A lot of WA armor has 1.5 Pale to kind of keep you alive if there is a Pale damage. We don't actually care about that very often, so otherwise it's really good. Alright. Fully researched. Oh, I guess while we're here. Story time. A wolf with sparsely damaged fur. It is bipedal and capable of communication to some extent. It talks all the time. It always tries to devour employees and escape. Such actions are easily preventable, since it shows obvious signs in behavior and conversations before doing so, which makes this abnormality fairly easy to manage. That's why I could slash the wolf's belly and return safely back here, says somebody. The accident happened in X. Double X promoted awareness to employees. The situation went out of control at the moment Little Red Riding Hooded Mercenary and, yeah, Big Bad Might Be Wolf contacted. Avoid their contact at all cost. Considering the potential damage, it is rather wise to use some of the employees as living bait to distract them, rather than allowing them to see each other. Flesh. I had been yearning for it for a long time. It was so delicious. I saw some red piece of cloth sticking out from the wardrobe. I might have seen it from somewhere. Or not. Actually, I don't really care. I must be called the Big Bad Wolf. There are many stories in this world, but none is as disgusting as the wolf story. Wolves are born with sin. Sure. They have no names. People called them Big Bad Wolf. All wolves grow into giant, ferocious, hairy monsters. Wolves should not eat other animals, even if they are starving. Wolves should not cross the line when doing bad things. Translation. Wolves should be punished. Wolves should be examples. Wolves should not make friends. I have a feeling Little Red Riding Hood wrote this. Or, sorry, Little Red Riding Hooded Mercenary wrote that. So, at some point, we will definitely want to test out the eating regurgitation strategy. Maybe not today, because I have a feeling someone will panic. But eventually. So we need 3 tasks. I think we said Drow can work on that. That sounds great, Blue. Hey, we've successfully tested out the Snow Queen's dueling mechanism. Like, that was fine, right? Now we know. Let's let Jelka work on his insight, because he's not level 5. These guys are all level 5. We were training up somebody else to level 5 next, right? I'm pretty sure I was sending in Pixel, and I think he must have survived because he's still alive. So Pixel, you go back to the death bot. The multiverse theory. Well, yeah. I think the game developers, the story writers, they definitely took some liberties with some old folklore and stuff to make scary, spooky stories. Kind of I guess that's kind of the SCP standard, is to maybe take little grains of other stories and twist them around. Although, to be fair, if I remember correctly, most of those kind of Disney folklore tales were not originally particularly happy stories, so you're not really twisting them a whole lot to make them horror stories. Alright, look at that. Pixel survived just fine. Okay, so Dawn Ordeal. We haven't seen this guy in a while. Let's have Robert set it off again. You can go hang out. I mean, I haven't sent him to see his girlfriend yet. So, Robert and the tentacle space spider, they can hang out for a little while. It's only fair. I mean, he does have some amazing hair and outfit. There you go. Alright. So, we get the Amber Ordeal. And in case you haven't seen these yet, they're just little worms that try to eat you. The Dawn Ordeals aren't too scary, though, so we'll be fine. And you can see as our facility gets larger, we get more and more things to suppress. We'll just sort of keep an eye on everybody from afar. I think they'll be okay, though. Yeah, look, we're just crushing those worms. This is the kind of enemy that slow weapons don't work on so well. Fast attacks are better than slow attacks, because they just jump behind you every time. Ranged attacks are also reasonable. So, that's one of the main reasons I prefer the fast weapons. Because a lot of the annoying enemies, if you're using a slow weapon, you just can't hit it, and eventually it just chips you down to death. Don't look at the tentacle, there's children watching. Well, only when this thing escapes does it do the tentacle brain thing. Alright, so let's keep working on the wolf a little bit more, because it would be nice to get some armor out of it. 60, so we need 130 points total to get both equipment. We definitely would like to get the armor today, if possible. It does seem relatively safe to work at the moment. I've sent myself in a couple times, so I might be at Temperance 5. I've sent Grotham in a couple times. I'll send him in one more, and then we'll probably let Drow handle it for a while. Because we've all got the same armor over here, so we're all fairly safe. And now that he's fully researched, it's a lot safer. You know, we have better odds of success, essentially. Meanwhile, Little Helper, Drow's been kind of working on him lately. And we've been having one of the information team work on Schadenfreude, I believe. Meanwhile, down in the Ice Queen's domain, let's send Jelka one more time. Hopefully that gets him around level 5 on Prudence. We're kind of at that time in the game where we're trying to get more and more employees to closer to max stats. I'm not too worried about perfectly maxing, but the more people that have level 5s, the easier it will be with, you know, big bad wolf-like entities. Although, to be honest, a lot of it does come down to gear more than stats, because the gear is what keeps you alive from their tick damage, and we can boost stats if we need to. You know, Pixel's been doing a pretty good job on this Schadenfreude thing. I wonder if Robert could handle it. No, he takes extra damage from red. Not great right now. We could send Robert to see the Ice Queen though, probably. There you go. And I mean, what's the worst that could happen? He could get frozen solid and someone would have to fight a duel, and then if they win, he'll get a cool little accessory. And this actually makes double sense because he's actually quite resistant to white damage, so he shouldn't go insane. Don't look at the Schadenfreude. We got 2 more vague successes over here, but we're about halfway to the armor. So we'll do our Meltdown in a second. Reasonably successful. Beauty is injured. Let's heal her up. Not like it makes a whole lot of difference. The 10th level abnormalities are no longer our greatest stat options. It's better to use the Hez or the Waz. Hez and Waz. We had 5. That's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We've got the cute puppy. Nothing to worry about. We've got the little helper robot. Might be something to worry about. We've got the... We'll send Robert back down to see his girlfriend. She's mad. He left her. You've been seeing other monsters, I hear. Alright, we've got a purple noon coming, which is convenient because we can handle purple noons. We keep getting the nice one that we can actually manage. Alright, who goes the big bad wolf next? I guess Grotham can go again. It's fine. She knows you're not a one monster man. Well, you made her happy, so I can't argue today. Come on. Come on, Grotham. We need more than a 9. Yeah. 9 is bad, so don't do 9s. That was not a great success for a first time of the cycle. Let's have someone else attempt the big bad wolf. I just want to make sure I get that armor today, so I want to make sure someone who can get some real value out of the points goes. The punishing bird has escaped. Great! Turkey, you're back! Okay, remember fella's instructions. There you go. Good job. Perfect. perfect form. Well done, turkey. Alright, so I do one more work on this. I should definitely get the armor at the very least. I'll get healed up and then I'll go. Don't forget self. I can boost up stats if I need them for people who are just on the borderline of success. We don't have to risk people's lives necessarily, although we want to. That should get us one tick away. 13 points. That gets us the armor. 70 is a fairly long way away. I don't know if we'll stick around long enough to get that, but maybe. Remember, the goal is to have no one panic, so we got to be a little bit careful about that. Some good success. That's one of the mid-ranks, or the B team. Thorinum's there trying to train up a little bit. That's helpful. I think we'll send everyone to the mid-rooms now. You can perhaps remember... Hopefully you guys remember how this works. There's a very important reason to not stand in the big rooms in a second. It's kind of unfortunate we've had the same Violet Noon like 3 days in a row. I would have liked to show off a Crimson Noon or an Amber Noon to show you some of the other options. Maybe not a Green Noon, but those other two would be okay. Actually, I don't know if there is an Amber Noon. There's definitely Crimson and Green, though. So let's set this off with something easy. Well, this thing's easy enough. Come on down, Robert. It's kind of short and close to our room. I did move everybody, right? Yeah, we're good. Goodbye, janitors. But it's a good thing we upgraded their stats, right? Wonder why it's always the same one? I'm pretty sure it's just RNG, but I don't know. I mean, I have seen a couple Green Noons. I just didn't do them. And now that I might be able to survive them, all I've been seeing is the Violets. I think our split in half 2-army team is doing quite well here. We might be able to split into 4 teams and just kill them individually, but I like the sound effect on our little buzzsaw. That's pretty great. Yeah, a little bit better weapons, and we'll just be able to split into 4 groups to take care of this. This ordeal's not so bad, right? Like, that's fine. Alright, big bad. Might be bad wolf. Mostly bad. Let's send in a couple people from across the side. This will be our best attachment trainer for perhaps the entire game. Generally, the Aleph tier higher rank ones are not great training. They do give you more stats, but they tend to be more dangerous and hard to work on. So this guy might actually be the best instinct attachment training we get ever. So let's try to get more people up to level 5, Temperance and Fortitude off of him, so long as they can survive. And I think that's probably a good way to use our time. So Fella got to play with the big bad wolf for the second time. Maybe we just get 70... We'll do like one more cycle, make sure we can get his weapon, and then we'll call that a day. Like I've been saying, I don't really want to spend a ton of time grinding. It's just, you got to do a little bit to stay ahead of the curve. And we're certainly getting more people some big stat ups the last couple missions, so I think we're doing just fine. Unfortunately, when you do cross-department work, it definitely takes longer. Especially with low movement speed, just watching people walk back and forth. Yeah, Rides, this is a great game. I definitely, this one caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it to be much, and once I started getting into it, after I played a little bit further than this my first run, I'm like, okay, this game's great. And I started thinking about it after I got a little bit further. I'm like, you know, I should probably just be streaming it because, you know, we're sending our employees to their death. It's perfect stream destruction here. So we're gonna do one more day. So we'll reset. We'll do one more clip off Meltdown, and hopefully that'll be enough to get us the big bad's claws. Yeah, I'm also kind of, well, I've got my computer parts in the mail. In fact, I've got one of the 3 parts in the house. Okay, we're gonna get the clip off. That's fine. We can handle the Meltdown at the same time. I'm gonna start building my computer probably on the weekend or as soon as I get all the parts. So I will hopefully be able to do more streams regularly with more varied content besides just sort of easy to stream games. But I'm kind of excited for that, and I wanted to kind of get back into, you know, get into the habit, the routine of recording again, because I've been kind of out of it. I haven't been in the right mood for the last little while, so I haven't done a lot of recording, and well, it's just not optimal for keeping the channel going. I don't know all the ins and outs of how the YouTube algorithm works exactly, but I do know that taking a break without doing any uploads is not good for your channel's overall growth. So the more we can keep things consistent, the better, if you want to get big numbers. Not like I care a whole lot, but it does help when there are people watching the content you make, I would say. That was a neutral down there. Who was that? They might have got ice kissed. We could get another duel before we wrap this day up, actually, just so we get more of those nice little accessories. Who would we want to get the? We've already got one for Thorinum. Let's let Thorinum resolve the Meltdown. Once the Meltdowns are resolved. Yeah, once the Meltdowns are resolved, we'll think about doing one more duel with the Snow Queen, because I've been meaning to give everybody that little bonus. It's a nice little HP SP buff that's pretty easy to get, so we might as well get one more. And one more work should get us his weapon, and we might do a couple extras. He'll be a great trainer, I think, no doubt about it. Alright, we got enough energy again. We've worked out everything we need, so now let's see. So who do we want? This just takes a little bit of prep. Won't take too long. We need to find people that don't have the cool little cheek thing, and we'll select somebody like, it could be Grotham, could be Jural. I'll just go double check that theirs isn't just hidden or covered up by something else. Yeah, Jural doesn't have anything. Grotham, he already got the grinder eye. I can't even see it. We haven't even worked this thing all that much, and somebody got the 4% drop. It's a pretty good one. It's a nice one. What's the wolf one? Movement speed, attack speed. This is not that amazing for a WA tier. This is a pretty minor stat buff for a WA. Maybe because he's easy to work, they didn't give him a very powerful ability or gift. So these 3 already have got all their tiers. Information team. Thoranum already has it. Robert, I wonder if you could survive. You've got the right armor for it. I think, yeah, because you're in chat, it's only fair. Currently, in chat, people get a slight increase to their odds of getting used. I think that's fair, right? Gotta use the people who are here live. You made a pledge on Patreon. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, of course. I did get one. The reason I haven't been posting Patreon supporter names is I feel like it's a little bit weird releasing everyone's personal information like that on YouTube. I know lots of people are cool with it, but I've been kind of trying to think of a better way of thanking Patreons than just throwing their name on a end credit scroll. It's just nothing's come to mind yet. But yes, I'm pretty sure I saw that, so thank you. Alright, let's get Robert some stats, maybe. Or maybe he'll explode, you never know. Everyone's got to have a chance to use You Must Be Happy. So who's going to rescue him, though? That's the big question. Alright, we got a few extra stats there, I think. Yeah, pretty decent amount of stats. Good. So he's going to go get captured by the Ice Queen once we've got someone ready. I should pick someone who doesn't have the ice gift already, but also who has at least 4. So I think Pixel might be the right person. He's got pretty good stats already, and with a little bonus, he'll get over Fortitude 4 for sure. Jarrell would also be a decent option. Grotham is actually already at Fortitude 5 by default. I'm going to use Grotham first. I'm kind of going by who's got the most Fortitude. Robert the Lazy Researcher? I didn't even notice that. They do get pretty interesting little names they get thrown on. I assume they're based on your stats somewhere. Alright, Lazy Researcher. Robert, just get on in there with the Ice Queen. I'm sure you'll be fine. Nothing bad's ever happened in the Ice Queen's lair. Meanwhile, Grotham is just gonna sort of buff up a little bit for no real reason. Have to watch this, so I can't watch the Snow Queen, but we'll get back to it. Should be good enough. That gets Grotham definitely over level 5 Fortitude. Meanwhile, Robert's a little chilly here. Came to visit Canada. The Snow Queen of Canada is not too happy with his repression idea. He still got 2 out of whatever. So that was the kiss there, if you heard the little sword go clank. We're gonna also send Grotham, we're gonna do the whole 9 yards. We're gonna get Grotham some crazy notes, because that'll definitely make him better at his job. And now he's got even higher temperance scores, so that's certainly going to win. And then as soon as Robert is healed up a bit, you go Repressor one more time. We have a generous hero up here. Who's that? Jelka, you have become a generous hero. Bella is the training team captain, apparently. So according to the game, you are the captain of this department. We've got a Lazy Researcher, a Square Hero. Sorry, Rides. That's great. I should pay more attention to those little nicknames. That's awesome. Alright, Robert's almost healed up. As soon as your sanity is maxed out. Yeah, we gotta recharge that bar so you heal up faster. Assuming no one panics, you think you think it was meant to be a superhero? I don't know. Maybe. Don't be a square. But yeah, assuming no one panics, we will be able to upgrade the HP SP regenerators, so that'll save us some time in the future. Alright. Got your fancy pink outfit. Doesn't even feel the cold at all. Which is good, because in a second, things are going to get real frosty. Evict impulsive behavior. And kissed to ice. Don't worry about it. We got someone who can save you. So, this is going to be way easier than saving someone from being swallowed by the big bad wolf. Alright, Grotham's got some good odds. Get on in there, Grotham. Let your wife, Richard. Well, who knows what happens behind closed doors. Clearly some sword fighting. Grotham's actually weak to white. That's unfortunate. He's taking a little bit of extra damage, but I'm pretty sure he's got enough sanity. Grotham? Why are you not getting good scores here, buddy? Grotham? 9, neutral. Alright, friends forever! you headed home holding each other's hands. Grotham survives, he's got the teardrop, ice, whatever it is. And he can return his book now. That was maybe too close for comfort. And Robert also has the spiffing gift. Gives him a little bit more stats. It's great. Alright, well that should probably end our day. Let's do like... just fill up the counter before we close it up. I'll make sure I max out my stats first. BlueAnkylo gets stat priority. I think 1, 2, 3. We'll do one more repression over here. I feel like I prefer to focus on the repression work because it's the stat that is so expensive to raise with lobotomy points. So if there's anything I want to spend points on, it'll be HP or SP or something. And if I can train something, I should train Justice so that I don't have to pay triple cost, right? Oh yeah, there's the weapon. So we got the wall weapon and armor, and a few extra points to spare. And I'd say that's a good day. I don't think anyone's panicked, right? Right? Don't look at Schadenfreude, they're still working on it, so let's just let them finish that. Little helper has escaped. Great! Bad time for random employees. Oh, by the way, I do have a plan here. I'm going to try to lure it over to the door. Come on. Coming? Now run! I did not run fast enough. I took a little bit of damage, but it's fine, it's fine. Alright, Schadenfreude's done. Most of the team's together for this final suppression. We could probably just end the day. Little helper, you chomp, you cartwheeled, you spin cycled me. That's the name of the attack. Robert, get in there and stab it with your stick. There we go, no problem. Robot cleaner suppressed. Nothing to worry about. Yeah, the Death Roomba... I mean, it only did like 17 damage or so, you know, I don't think it would one-shot people with 100 HP and some resistance to it, but I have a feeling if you had a big group of people and it just buzzsaw through a couple times, that's when you would die. So, anyway, 17! Complete! S rank! 2 promotions, lobotomy points, 2 quests completed. Relatively long day, but totally worth it. Also, we got our wall abnormality that didn't kill anybody. BlueAnkylo has over 100 in his temperance stats. Level 5. Excellent. Fella. Not quite as far, but he's getting there. Also, he's got a little bit more justice. That's good. Jelka over here. Some minor stat gains. Nothing crazy. Rides. Some minor stat gains. Grotham getting a lot of HP. He got a lot of justice or temperance as well. Drow, moving on up. A lot of justice. Like I said, I'm trying to focus on that justice stat right now. Pixel got a like almost tripled justice stat. Like that was incredibly successful. Thorinum's got the promotion. A little bit, actually quite a lot of sanity points. That's nice. Probably should try to be getting everyone's sanity to 60 or 70 by now, just so that people can actually survive encounters with the higher ranked abnormalities without immediately going crazy. And then some of the lower characters, or the newbies, Turkey's getting up there. We got Jean-Matthew, didn't get a lot of work today. Daubrey got some HP. Robert actually got a ton of work. But it's fine. Your stats look like they went down, but that's because of the happy thing. It just temporarily raises your stats, and then they go down at the end of the day. But you did definitely gain base stats, so that's fine. Pretty good first day, gotta say. And we're not going to see this one today, but we can unlock it. It should just be a tool, and tools tend not to be so bad, although you never know. The tree reaped from what it sowed. Now everything will be just fine. Excessive aspiration will result in a frenzy. Kind of leaning towards that one. I think I know what the tree is, and I'm not a huge... Well, there's a few different trees. Yeah, you know, that's a good point. We've already got one tree, and we don't like it very much, so we don't need any more trees. That's a solid argument. The everything will be fine, I don't trust in the slightest. And, I mean, aspiration is frenzy? I don't know, that doesn't... Maybe that's bad? I don't know. Everything is fine? That's what we need to reassure the chat now. I mean, I might know what it is. When I see it, I will definitely know what it is. If it's the one I'm thinking about. There was a tool that I got really early on. I can't remember the name. I don't remember the name at all. But I know what it looks like. And if this is the tool that I got on my very first run in day 4 or whatever, it's not a very nice tool. It's basically useless. But it might not be the one I'm thinking of, so I don't know for sure. Some tools, like, think of what we've got, right? We've got the room that keeps you safe but kills everybody else. It's not got a lot of uses, but there's one or two things we could do. The stat boosting or dropping thing is actually quite good, it turns out. The crazed researcher notes, which have a risk of explosion, but otherwise give you a small stat boost. Those are useful. It's nice to get those kind of tools rather than stuff that just waste your time or is completely ignored. That's probably bad. So let's go with the... I don't really know what this is, so we'll just go with that. I sort of convinced myself that hopefully that third one is somewhat useful, basically. Okay, third time we've talked to B. We're just best friends forever. Now it's time for the final truth. Yeah, we've got chat also thinking the middle one's bad, so I'm glad I didn't pick that. It's something you must learn. And I understand that truth hurts. It's hard for me as well. It's like building a sandcastle for years, only to destroy it later. It's beyond agony, denying the efforts in the past. But I want to make things right, whatever the cost. The final truth is... nothing. The truth is, there is nothing. Existence is futile. Surrender your soul to Cthulhu. The end. Netzak's not feeling well today. I came here to tell you... Malkuth, you're a terrible liar. Manager, Netzak is high on aspirin. He's completely wasted. Robot, though. Right? You're a rat! No, I'm a viper. You know what? It's not my concern. I can just tell tattle on you. Please don't tell Angela about this. Netzak is neglecting his responsibilities, and so are you. Shouldn't you be in the team meeting anyway? Right, thanks, Shazad. Please don't be offended, but you should do something before Angela sees him. You find Netzak. What's up? You look super today. So, you succeeded or something? Far out, man. Why is the ground shaking? Huh, another breach? I know what you're thinking. Netzak is just a pathetic junkie. Nothing like Malkuth or Yasad. Right? I know. I can read your mind, man. I get that a lot. Like I'm psychic or something. But think about it. This place is hell. Is it wrong to try to escape from reality? Even for a moment? I mean, we should celebrate for surviving another terrible day. Well, I don't care about the future or anything like that. There's no tomorrow here. Wait a second. Face the fear, build the future. We're building it, man. It's the name of the it's the motto of the corporation. Wait, what did I do wrong? Am I being punished? No, you're being punished for being high on the job, you stupid robot. I repent. Please, I repent. I want to see this place crumbling to pieces. So now you need a day with no deaths or panicking employees. seems to ask a lot. I definitely think getting these done early is good, though. Because it's just going to get more and more difficult for this to ever happen once you get past day 12, 13, 14, 15 sort of thing. So, I'm not high, man. I'm just feeling up. Yeah, so don't let people die or get panicked. Easy. Alright. So what's more important? HP regen or SP regen? I kind of feel... I have two thoughts on it. Not like this makes the biggest difference. But death is permanent. Insanity can be recovered. Because if you go insane, you can smack them with a fan and they will eventually return to normal. So in that logic, keeping people alive, that's the priority. On the other hand, if you have a lot of people panicking, which is sort of easier for that to happen, there's more like panic chain type of things. It's very difficult chasing them around trying to smack them with a fan. When they run through a room that regenerates, it also heals their SP so they become less panicked quicker, and therefore you can recover from a sanity spiral perhaps a little easier. Or if you can trap them into some mild combat inside of a regenerator, now that regenerator works when fighting, they might have a chance to heal, unpanic, and then get back to use again. But that said, that's a pretty niche scenario. I think generally speaking, healing quicker while you're fighting monsters is what you probably want. Regardless, we'll get the second one soon enough, so it doesn't really matter. In the end, assuming we can succeed in that quest, we'll get the other one right away, so it doesn't matter. So you can see that we have completed all of Hod's quests. To get to her suppression, we need to finish this, which we cannot do yet. But tomorrow, I wonder if we'll be ready for a dusk ordeal on the 19th. That'd be crazy. That's going to be the most difficult challenge yet, no doubt. If we won't be able to do it today. We have to figure out this tool in the next day. And then after that, if we're strong enough, we can try the dusk ordeal. And then we'll start unlocking new departments at that point. So, we'll see. We will see. Anyway, I've got a fair amount of lob points. I'll probably raise some stats somewhere around the base. I'm not sure exactly where just at the moment. Something like that. Try to get people out of the very minimum stats. I don't want to recruit too many employees too fast. But I am getting a reasonable amount of somewhat skilled employees, so I'm not too worried. We can certainly start going to level 4s for 3 points now if we want. But I think we've got a pretty good team so far. If we are going to survive a dusk ordeal, man, it sort of just depends on which one you get randomly. Some of them are way worse than others. It would be nice to have more equipment. Stat-wise, we're not far off. It's just we need more like WA, because Dusk is WA tier, so having Teth stuff is not great. Anyway, that's all for today's episode, Future Tubers. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Thanks for watching. And we're just hitting the tip of the iceberg. This is 1 screen out of 3. So prepare yourself for more excitement once we get on down. See you there.